All right, today we are diving into some source material that paints a picture of the future that is, well, to put it mildly, it's pretty intense. It lays out a coming cataclysmic event, one they call the Great Division. And it's not an act of nature, it's an act of design.
And the documents do not beat around the bush. This is the core claim right here. Humanity is about to be split, cleanly in two, with two wildly different endings. We're talking a binary outcome. There is no middle ground.
Okay, let's break this down. The source material defines this division very clearly. On one side, you have the marked. They're identified by having an internal graphene lattice. The outcome for them? Vaporization. Their final state is listed as ash. But then you have the unmarked, who don't have this lattice. Their outcome is described as a massive consciousness expansion, leading to a state of, well, transcendence.
So, right away, the big question is, how could something like this even happen on a global scale? The document suggests the mechanism isn't some crazy alien tech or a divine act. Nope, it's something that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. According to this source, all those Hyperloop and Boring Company tunnels, the ones we're told are the future of transportation, they have a secret second purpose. They've been engineered to act as gigantic, continent-spanning microwave ovens, all tuned to one very specific frequency.
Now, to get how this works, we got to talk about something from physics called the Q factor. Just think of it like an amplification score. The higher the Q factor, the better a space is at trapping and multiplying energy. A low Q factor is kind of like a leaky bucket, but a high Q factor, that's a perfect energy prison.
The analysis in the document starts here, with the Las Vegas Boring Company loop. Its calculated Q factor is over 2 million. This is presented as just the baseline, the first node in the network, but already powerful enough to be a seriously potent resonant oven. But that's just the start. The documents then point to the Shanghai loop, and look at that jump. The Q factor leaps to over 31 million. The design is longer, more precise, and as they describe it, exponentially more dangerous.
And the escalation just keeps going. Next up is the Beijing Dragon Crown project. The Q factor doubles again, hitting almost 62 million. Each new project is framed as another step toward creating a more perfect, more efficient global weapon.
And here it is. The theoretical peak described in these files, the Hong Kong Victoria Harbor Crown, a Q factor of 428 million. This is what they identify as the final piece of the puzzle, the global ignition point.
So what does a number like 428 million even mean in the real world? It means that a tiny 1 milliwatt signal, literally the kind of thing your phone's Bluetooth puts out, gets amplified inside that tunnel into 428 megawatts of raw power. I mean, that's more power than a freight train engine, all generated from just a whisper of a signal. It's insane. Okay, but wait a second. An energy pulse that big would just fry everything, right? How could it possibly be selective? Well, according to these documents, the targeting system isn't in the tunnels. It's already inside us. It all boils down to one thing, a graphene lattice. The marked, according to the source, are the people who have this lattice inside their bodies. It's described as the perfect antenna for the 2.4 gigahertz frequency, which means it turns the body into a receiver that instantly soaks up that massive energy pulse. But the unmarked, they don't have it. So for them, the pulse just passes right through, totally harmlessly.
So who exactly is vulnerable? The documents are pretty specific. They list the compromised and the implanted, obviously, but also the system's own architects who get trapped in their own high-tech bunkers. And tragically, anyone who relies on the electromagnetic grid for their life support.
So we have the weapon, we have the power source, we have the target. But for the survivors, the unmarked, the documents describe something that goes way beyond just making it through the day. See, for the unmarked, this event isn't about destruction, it's about transformation. The source claims this pulse kicks off a four-step process. It starts with a huge neurochemical release, which leads into a shared visionary state, then an actual biological upgrade, and finally, a complete shift in how they perceive reality itself.
And the key to this whole transformation is said to be DMT, that super powerful psychedelic molecule our own bodies can make. The theory is that the pulse triggers the pineal gland to just flood the system with it, up to 1,000 times the normal amount, kicking off a mass-scale breakthrough state of consciousness.
And get this, none of this is random. The timing is perfect. The duration of this transcendent experience is directly linked to the physics of the weapon. That 28.4 seconds of shared vision,
That is supposedly the exact amount of time it takes for the energy in that Hong Kong tunnel to decay. The weapon and the awakening are perfectly synchronized.
So who are these people who might make up this survivor group, the Remnant? The documents give us a kind of profile. It describes someone who has consciously steered clear of certain technologies and substances, someone who's protected their own biological hardware, and has actively worked on expanding their own consciousness.
Now, a really key idea here is that these people aren't, off-the-grid separatists hiding out in some compound. The claim is that they are living among us, completely integrated into society, hidden in plain sight. You wouldn't know who they are until the moment it all goes down.
And this brings us to what might be the biggest paradox of this entire narrative. In a world that's just obsessed with tech fixes and building digital escape pods, the path to survival here is described as the total opposite. It's not about having more technology, it's about having an absence of it in your own body.
I have to point out, the source material we're looking at isn't talking about some far-off, distant future. It's presented with this incredible sense of urgency. It's framed as an imminent countdown, like a final warning before the trigger gets pulled. Which really leaves us with this one last, huge, provocative question that the material poses. If all the high-tech bunkers are just traps and technology itself is the weapon, maybe the only real safe harbor, the only real ark, isn't a place you can build with steel and concrete, but a state of being you have to cultivate within yourself.
We're going to end on one final, pretty haunting line from the source documents. It's a chilling thought, tying the duration of this event to a timescale that is, well, eternal. It is a powerful and deeply unsettling way to wrap this all up.